What up, guys? Welcome back once again to my F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. We are on Season 2, Round 11, the midway part of the second season. We're now at Austria. I've decided to keep on Antoine Hubert for the rest of the season and just see where he goes from there. But you know what? I'm feeling fairly competitive this weekend. If you haven't seen the last race in France, I urge you to go and do so. So please go and check that out, and then check this video out as well. Yeah, so we get through Q1 quite nicely, but however, the heavens have opened for Q2, and I'm actually quite worried about how I'm going to get through. But the lap so far seems relatively good. No thanks to the driver in front of me holding me up, which I think is Perez. Oof, go a little bit wide there, but the lap doesn't seem too bad. Just ignore that drift wide there. And it looked to be okay. Like, we were third, so I kind of thought, okay, I could probably get through on that. How wrong I was. We are starting well towards the middle of the pack for this one. Oh boy, this is going to involve a lot of overtaking.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship, except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. The Spielberg circuit then is situated 700 meters above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill turn 3. Anthony Davidson also joins me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about Old Timer. They're starting towards the back of the field today in a car that is fast, so they'll be disappointed, won't they?
It's not a nice feeling, I promise you. They've got a quick car underneath them, but they've got onto the grid today and they need a pair of binoculars to see the start lights. They'll be desperate for a good start to make up for some of that deficit.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel, and Ricciardo, Albon, Hubert, Sainz, and Lance Stroll, Norris, Perez, Pierre Gasly, and Kvyat, Oldtimer, Giovinazzi, Romain Grosjean, and Kimi Raikkonen. Ocon, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Magnussen, Latifi, and George Russell ends our grid lineup. And with lights out just moments away...
Right then, on the grid in Austria, P15. We have got a lot of overtaking to do if we want to get anywhere near the front. It's lights out and away we go. We got a great start there. Kvyat trying to give me a little bit of a chop there. Perez is also right in front of us. We're going to try and thread through as carefully as we can, but we have threaded through quite nicely because we've gained a couple of positions off that start. We're now in P13 ahead of Ocon and Perez, and we're now going to have a look up the inside here, see if we can get Norris and Gasly as well, but that's just not possible. And if anything, Norris kind of making me back out there. And now, because of the lack of momentum, I've got to watch out. But we're going to dive up the inside of Norris here. And that ends in the move being completed. We're up into P12. And we've got Pierre Gasly next to overtake, who is right in front of us. And yeah, so one lap in and we've overtaken 3 cars. That's exactly the start we want. But we want to keep going where we started off. So Gasly, our next victim. We are right in the gearbox of. This is going to be a dive up the inside. Can we take Stroll as well? No, we cannot. And Gasly still trying to hold it out around the outside there. He's not giving this one up easy at all. And in fact, he's only giving me just about the width of an F1 car down the straight there. But I'm going to take that room. I'm going to take the inside line. I've outbroke myself a bit there. And as a result, Gasly still not giving up on 11th. In fact, he's got back past me. He's got the cutback on me there, so fair play to Gasly for that one. And I've got to watch out for Lando Norris as well. So I'm having to look behind me a little bit there. But we've caught ourselves out big time there, trying to outbrake Gasly. We nearly missed our braking spot, and in fact, I think I went into him there trying to slow the car down. I do apologise for that. Next up then is Stroll in 10th. So that would put us nicely in the points. We're going to take a dive once again up the inside of what I believe is turn 2. And that is another overtake done. We are now up into the points. And we are lapping pretty quickly as well. If that purple first sector is anything to go by. I am not messing around in this race. I am getting on with it. Like with France, I am not wasting any time. Right, next up is Sainz. We've taken a couple of laps to catch him. But we're now right on the back of him. And we're going to take another dive into turn 2. Up the inside of Sainz. And that is another place. That is another place. We're up into P9 now. On the rear of our teammate Antoine Hubert, who just... Wow, you know, we've got a very competitive car and he's in 8th. Although I'm keeping you for the second half of the season, Antoine, we need to see more from you. I'm trying to have a look up the inside there, but he's having none of that. He is having none of it. You're my teammate, mate. Come on, help me out. Right, we're now coming down the inside of the hairpin. Are we going to have a look? No. We're not going to be able to do that. Antoine once again cutting me off. But next lap we're going to have another look. But he's still got a little bit away from us here. It's going to have to be a very late braking dive, which we have taken. And we have got the move done. Antoine, you should have let me go. Where's the number 1, number 2 dynamic here? Come on. I'm in the championship fight here. Anyway. No team orders at arrows, clearly, as we catch up to Sebastian Vettel, who is being nicely held up by Daniel Ricciardo for us. And this is the battle for 6th now, so we're making nice progress already. Going to have a look up the inside of Vettel here. I think we can get the move done. We do get the move done, although I get a little bit sideways on the power out of turn 2, but we've got the move done anyway. And Daniel Ricciardo is my next victim. As he said, I like him vulnerable. Well, he's going to be vulnerable here as we go up the inside of my favourite overtaking spot. My favourite overtaking... I mean, it's my favourite overtaking manoeuvre too, but the corner isn't a manoeuvre, it's a corner. Anyway, enough bodging of the commentary. Let's get back into the race. We're right on the rear of Mr. Alex Albon, who I suspect will be the next Red Bull driver to be let go. We dive down the inside. I've missed my braking spot and gone wide there. And that's going to allow Albon to go straight back through. And if anything, now we've got to watch our backs because Sebastian Vettel is on it. So I'm going to take a dive up the inside of Albon here. And, well, Albon, I don't think he saw me coming there. But we're up to 4th. Making our first and only pit stop of the day. Going on to those medium tyres, which should take us to the end of the race. We made those softs last really well. I'm quite happy with that. And that will help our strategy long term into this race. Right, where are we? We're P9. We've got a few cars to overtake, one of which is Lewis Hamilton, who I believe is either fresh out of the pits or hasn't pitted yet. I'm not sure which. We're going to dive up the inside of Hamilton, and we nearly pile into Max Verstappen in the process, but Hamilton, he gets back past us as a result of my mess up there. We're still on his left, still on the outside, with Lewis giving us literally only a car's width to go through, but we take that gap and we go through up into P4 now, so we are making cracking progress here. Next up we've got Charles Leclerc, who for whatever reason is on the hard tyres, and this is a bit of irony, battling Max Verstappen round that corner, and I think Max has got him round the outside, taken 2nd place, and I'm now going to rob Charles Leclerc even further. What is he doing there? Half weaving on the straight, and I tried to go down the left. He sort of came across more than I anticipated. I lost balance, went into him, and had to go off the circuit just to make sure I didn't clatter into him any further. Or Max, but now we're going down the outside of turn 2, and given our grip on these medium tyres will be much superior than that of the hard tyres, we go round the outside to complete a spectacular overtake on Leclerc. That is us up into 3rd now, and we are looking very, very good here. We're not that far off the race lead. Is it possible for us to catch Valtteri Bottas for the lead in this Austrian Grand Prix? I'm certainly not ruling it as impossible. Leclerc's dropped a couple more positions, so he's having a not so good time on those hard tyres. Ferrari strategy once again in action there as we catch Max Verstappen, and we've caught Bottas a bit, and in fact Leclerc's day goes from bad to worse as his engine has given up with him. It's gone. There really is something strange with that engine. It's finished. Right, anyway, back with the leading trio now, which is Bottas, Verstappen and myself. Less than a second separating the top three here. We have a genuine chance at winning this race. We're trying to have a look up the inside of Verstappen, but he's covered us well there. And I think he's more focused on getting after Bottas than he is defending us, which that could be a mistake for him later on if we don't. If we manage to pass him even. Right, we're now starting to thread our way through some of these back markers. And Bottas still leading the way. Verstappen losing a little bit of momentum. I tried to have a look at him there, but once again, to no avail. When in fact, we did tag him a little bit there. I'm trying to take a very attacking line. Desperation starting to sink in. And frustration starting to sink in because I just cannot make anything of this right now. And George Russell, wow, that was a little bit cheeky of Russell there. I thought he was going to let us all through, but I had to take avoiding action to stop myself clattering into him. Back markers are not helping me out in this one, and we're still very, very close with 4 laps to go, and I have to try something now. Because if I don't, I'm going to be stuck here. So we're going to dive up the inside of Verstappen. We're going to move into P2. So we're making great progress again. And now we can start thinking about getting after Bottas and getting that overtake done. I'm going to push as hard as I can. But Bottas just able to stay sort of 8 or 9 tenths ahead of us. He's now coming up to another back marker, which I believe is GROSJEAN, who has just completely sabotaged me there. Probably not deliberately, but oh my days, what was he doing? I had to take avoiding action, then coming back onto the circuit, Verstappen went into me. Oh, what was GROSJEAN doing? It's like he peeled out the way for Bottas, but then he sort of braked on the racing line. I don't know whether he was letting me through or what, but he blocked me, and there I go, trying to take a desperate dive up the inside of Verstappen. That doesn't work. GROSJEAN now coming to ruin my day further, trying to unlap himself on me. What is he doing? What is GROSJEAN doing? Look, down the inside of it he's gone, and he's unlapped himself on me. Not just that, but he literally forced me wide. You're a lapped carvo, man. What in the name of all that is holy do you think you are doing? Oh, first off, he blocks me at the last corner, forcing me to take avoiding action, and then he full-on dive bombs me to unlap himself. Verstappen has to pick, because I think when he clattered me, he took damage. That's unfortunate. And you know what? Frustration really kicks in here, and I just decide to let GROSJEAN know what I thought of that. I do apologise wholeheartedly for a Dan Tictum-esque outburst there, but I was letting GROSJEAN know exactly what I thought of his actions there. Actions that enabled Valtteri Bottas to just get away from me. And, well, it could have been so much more. I have nothing further to say.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
A fantastic team effort to secure victory here in the Styrian Alps. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. Well, the gap at the top of the championship has
I
been
just
cut
can't
down
believe
after a
that, you
difficult
know.
race
We had a
today.
good
Grand
race.
Championship leader.
We were looking good for a
Incredible player
potential
racing.
race
Who was
win.
your driver
I
of the
passed
day?
Verstappen, and then Grosjean sort of almost parks it on the apex of the last corner, which means I had to take
It's time to
avoiding
see how
action.
things are shaping up
I'm not
in the
quite sure what
Constructors'
he was
Championship.
doing,
Mercedes
and then
continue to extend their
And
lead.
then after I went
Meanwhile,
wide
good
trying to
work.
pass
The
Verstappen,
drivers
he then
team
sends it up my
again
inside
themselves
and then
further up the
forces me
order.
wide as he's
It's been
unlapping
an
me.
absolutely wild weekend.
Oh, well, at least they've got
I
Grosjean
can't
down
wait
to a
to see
T
what's next.
in this game. Like, they've got him spot on there because, honestly, that was shameful driving. And I will admit, I lost my cool at the end swiping into him. There's no excuse for that. I do apologise. Frustration very much getting the better of me, and I see now that that was not the way to go. But anyway, it's still P2. It's still a solid result, and we're still holding on to the lead of the championship, albeit not by much, but we're still holding on to the lead. Yeah, it is what it is. Well, I'll leave you guys with the highlights reel. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next race, it is goodbye from me. See you later, guys.